I knew something was wrong the moment the birds stopped singing. One second the world was bright and buzzing with life. The next, it was gone. Not a flicker, not a fade. Just darkness, instant and absolute. I looked up, expecting clouds, maybe an eclipse, but there was nothing. Just a blank sky where the sun should have been, like someone had erased it with a god-sized hand. At first I thought it was temporary, a strange atmospheric glitch, a solar hiccup. But minutes passed, then hours. No sunrise, no warmth, just this growing cold that crept into my bones and settled there like it belonged. I wrapped myself in blankets, lit every candle I had, but it didn't matter. The air felt thinner, heavier, like even oxygen had lost the will to hang around. The news stopped trying to explain it after day 2. Scientists said the Earth would still orbit for a while, inertia and all that, but without the sun, everything was unraveling fast. Temperatures plummeted, plants began to die, and I swear the sky got darker than I ever knew darkness could be. Not night dark, not blackout dark. It was void dark, like staring into the bottom of the universe. I tried to stay calm. I boiled water, rationed food, taped up windows, but my hands wouldn't stop shaking. Not from fear, at least not entirely, but from the cold that no amount of layering could fight off. The world outside fell silent. No cars, no birds, no wind, just the groaning of houses adjusting to a cold they weren't built for, and my own breath, sharp and fragile in the freezing air. By the end of the first week, the oceans had already started to freeze over. I read that we'd have maybe a couple more months before the surface became uninhabitable. I didn't need the reports. I could feel it. My power went out on day 9. No more heat, no more lights. I burned books to stay warm, and with each flame I wondered if humanity had finally outlived its story. I kept thinking about the sun, not just the light, but the way it made everything feel alive, the way it hit your face on a spring morning, the way it turned water into clouds and clouds into rain and rain into green. We didn't just need it. We were part of it, a planet-sized child orbiting its warmth. Without it, we were just spinning in circles, lost and freezing in a cosmic graveyard. I started dreaming of sunlight, not in images, just the feeling of it. The weightless golden warmth on my skin. I'd wake up crying sometimes because my body remembered something my eyes couldn't find anymore. And that's what scared me most, not the cold, not the hunger, but the forgetting, that we might forget what light even was. Now, each day is darker than the last. I don't know how many of us are left. I haven't heard another voice in weeks, just my own, whispering into the black. But I write, I speak, I remember. Because if this is the end, I want someone, something, to know we existed. That once there was a species that danced under the sun and dreamed of the stars, and maybe, just maybe, if someone ever finds this frozen planet, they'll know we loved the light. The cold doesn't come in waves anymore. It's just there. Constant. A presence. I've stopped counting days. Time doesn't make much sense when the sun is gone. The clocks still tick, but they feel more like a mockery than a measure. I sleep when I'm tired. I wake when the silence breaks me. I move to stay warm, not to get anywhere. The animals were the first to go. I used to hear the occasional howl in the early nights, like some desperate creature calling out to the stars for answers. But even they've fallen quiet. It's just me now, me, and the frost creeping up the walls, slowly claiming everything I once knew. I tried to send out a signal once, shortwave radio, old tech stuff. I sat there whispering into static, hoping someone somewhere would answer. Is anyone out there? I said it 100 times, but the void answered back with nothing. Maybe I'm the last, or maybe we're all just trapped in our own pockets of survival, too far gone to reach each other. I think a lot about how fragile we were. We built cities that touched the clouds, machines that bent the rules of nature. But in the end, it took just one absence to undo it all. One missing star. The very first fire. And without it, we collapsed like shadows without a source. Food ran low 2 weeks ago. I eat what I can. Cans, dry goods, even old tea leaves. Hunger is like a second skin now, dull and ever present. But I still save a tiny piece of chocolate. Just one square. It's not for nutrition, it's for hope. I don't know why I hold on to it. Maybe it's a symbol, a reminder of birthdays, celebrations, warmth, a ritual in a world that's forgotten how to feel. Sometimes I sit by the window, not to look out, there's nothing to see, but just to remember that there used to be something there. A sun that rose and fell, a sky that changed colors, people walking dogs, children running late to school, all of it gone, like a dream I can't wake from. And yet, even now, a part of me refuses to give in. Maybe it's stubbornness, maybe it's madness, but I still believe the universe is listening, that it hasn't turned its back on us completely. I think of the Earth's core, still burning beneath the crust. I think of those living near the volcanic vents in the deep oceans, untouched by sunlight, yet still alive. Maybe that's us now, creatures of the dark, searching for fire, rewriting what it means to be human, not defined by the light, but by how fiercely we fight to remember it. And if this story ends in ice, I want the last words to carry warmth. So if you're out there, if you find this, know that we loved, we hoped. We reached for the sun even as it slipped through our fingers. Today I found an old photo album buried beneath a pile of blankets, dusty but untouched by the cold. My hands trembled as I flipped through it, not from the chill this time, but from the flood of something I hadn't felt in a while. Memory. There were faces I hadn't seen in what felt like lifetimes. My sister laughing under the summer sun, my father grilling in the backyard wearing that ridiculous apron, and me, squinting in the sunlight, annoyed probably that someone made me stand still. Back then, I took it all for granted, the way the light curved around the edges of our lives soft and golden, the way it made colors mean something. Without the sun, everything is gray. Not just the world outside, but inside me too. Emotions flatten, time blurs, smiles become history. But the photos brought something back. Not light, not warmth, but meaning. That even in this endless cold, I am still connected to what came before. That we mattered. And if I still carry those memories, then maybe humanity isn't completely gone. Maybe it lives in me, however quietly. I talk to myself more these days. Out loud, I tell stories. I sing songs I don't fully remember. Not because I expect anyone to hear me, but because silence is a dangerous thing. It can unravel the mind, thread by thread, and I need noise, my noise, to remind me that I still exist. My breath is visible now, even inside the house. I wear every piece of clothing I own. My eyelashes freeze together sometimes, but I'm not afraid anymore. I've made peace with the cold. I don't fight it, I just endure it. Because somewhere in this frozen stillness, there's a strange kind of clarity. We always look to the stars, dreaming of leaving Earth. But I think now that we never really understood how much we belonged to this place, its rhythms, its balance. The sun wasn't just a star, it was our anchor. And without it, we've drifted, not through space, but through ourselves. I think about children born in this darkness, if any are. What stories would they hear? What would they know of light? Would the sun sound like a myth? A golden god that once warmed the skin and made shadows dance? I write it all down, every detail I can remember. Not facts, feelings, because if they never see it, at least they'll know it once existed, that we once existed. And maybe, just maybe, one day, the sun will return, maybe not in my lifetime, maybe not for 1,000 years, but I want to believe that the universe isn't done with us yet, that somewhere, in the silence between stars, something still stirs. Until then, I'll keep the fire going. I'll keep remembering. I'll keep telling our story to the cold, because even in the absence of light, we are still capable of warmth. Last night, I dreamed of morning, not just any morning, the kind that seeps into your room before your eyes even open, when light feels alive, like it's reaching out to pull you gently into the day. I could feel it on my face, that soft golden warmth. For a moment, I truly believed it was real. I smiled in my sleep. I cried when I woke up. The darkness was still there, thick and unchanged, pressing against the windows like a presence that had forgotten how to leave. But for the first time in what feels like forever, I didn't curse it. I just sat with it, like an old companion, quiet, honest, unforgiving. I've stopped asking why this happened. The universe doesn't answer questions like that. Not with words, not with reasons. It just is. And maybe that's the hardest part, accepting that some things end without explanation, without justice, without anyone to witness the final chapter. But I've also realized something else. Survival isn't just about breathing. It's not just food and fire and shelter. It's the little things, the things that make you you, the things that no darkness can take. I found a pencil stub and started sketching on the walls, rough, clumsy outlines of trees, clouds, faces I miss. I even drew the sun, dozens of them, each one brighter in my mind than the last, and when I stare at them long enough, I swear I feel warmer. Not physically. Imagination doesn't cheat physics, but emotionally, spiritually, like I'm tapping into a part of myself that refuses to give in. I've been thinking about the first humans, how they must have feared the dark, how they gathered around fire, not just for warmth, but for each other. Maybe we're not so different now. Maybe, in the absence of the sun, the real light is what we carry inside, our ability to remember, to create, to hope. There's something powerful in that, something defiant. I don't know how much longer I have. The cold seeps deeper every day. My breath grows shorter, but I'm not afraid of dying. Not anymore. I'm afraid of disappearing without leaving something behind. So I write, I draw, I speak, I imagine. And if this is the end, then let it be beautiful. Let it be remembered not as a silent extinction, but as the final flare of a species that dared to dream, even when the sky turned its face away. If someone finds these words, buried beneath the frost tucked between layers of silence, know this: we lived, we loved, we looked up at the stars and felt, and in the dark, we still burned. This morning, or what I still call morning, though time has lost its shape, I lit my last match. I watched the flame catch, small and trembling in the gloom, like it knew it shouldn't exist here. I held my breath as it flickered, drawing out its life for just a few more seconds. Then it was gone. Just smoke and the smell of something final. I didn't cry. Not because I wasn't sad, but because there's something sacred in the last of anything. A kind of reverence. That tiny flame had seen me through nights when I forgot I was alive. It was my sunrise, over and over, when the real one abandoned us. Now, the dark feels heavier. Not just around me, but inside. My heartbeat is slower. My fingers numb. I know what this means. The body is shutting down, conserving energy for what it knows is coming. Nature's quiet farewell. I think about warmth a lot these days. Not just the physical kind, but the warmth of a voice calling your name, of someone brushing hair from your face, of a dog's tail thumping lazily against your leg, of music spilling out of a car window on a summer day. That's what the sun gave us, not just heat, not just life. Connection. I whisper now when I speak. My voice feels too big for this silence, like it might shatter the air. I tell stories to the walls. I read old journal entries out loud just to hear something human. And when I can't find the strength, I hum lullabies I barely remember. It helps, somehow, like I'm threading myself back into the fabric of the world, stitch by quiet stitch. I'm not sure how much longer I'll last, but I'm not afraid of the end. The end is just the moment after the last moment, the breath after the final word. I only hope this place, this frozen shelter of memory, survives long enough for someone to find it. And if they do, I hope they know what we were. That we built cities and poems and laughter, that we loved fiercely and lost often, that we danced in sunlight, not because we had to, but because we could, that even when the light left us, we didn't stop trying to be a light for each other. I'm so cold now. Sleep is coming easier. It's quiet, not cruel, like the world tucking me in. So if these are the last words I ever write, let them be a signal, a spark, a reminder, that even as the universe forgot us, we remembered ourselves. We were warmth in the dark. We were fire after the sun. We were here. My hands are still for the first time in days. No trembling, no grasping for heat that isn't there. Just stillness, the kind that doesn't ask questions, the kind that comes when everything that needed to be said has been said. There's no fear left in me, only a quiet surrender, like the earth, and I have finally agreed on something. I close my eyes, not to sleep, but to remember, the way the sun used to pour through the trees, the sound of laughter echoing off a lake, the warmth of another heartbeat beside mine. And in that remembering, I feel it again, just for a second, the light.